if Mr. West Ham, Mark Noble, plays today, it will be his 129th and final London derby as a West Ham United player. Welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. I hope you are all well. It's time for the build-up, starting 11 breakdown, all of it, the whole shebang, right here on West Ham Unofficial for West Ham versus Arsenal, another London derby. They're coming thick and fast. The final one of the season. We are an hour and 15 until kick-off, which means we are 15 minutes away from the lineup. I'm joined by Budgie from Green Street Elites to digest everything we get in the next 15 minutes. Budgie, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Jake. Thank you for inviting me on, mate.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for jumping in. Let's see who we've got in the chat. Lawrence, hope you hello everyone from Auburn, Alabama. Hope you are well, my friend. Budgie, what's your vibe? What's your feeling for this game? Because there's many different opinions and feelings from the West Ham fan base.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it really depends on, what Arsenal turn up and what lineup we announce in about 15 minutes. But my general feeling is that it's going to be a tough game for us because Arsenal have been playing some decent football of late, and we've kind of caught them in a purple patch. For the last sort of 3 games or so, they've had reasonable performances. So we got to just hope that we can get out there and get at them. Really, to be fair, because most of the teams that they played in the last few games that they have played, they haven't really got at them as much as they could. And so Arsenal have benefited from that by playing their style of football. We can prevent them from their style of football, which we can generally do. The likes of Declan and that. Hopefully we'll get at them.
It's such a difficult game to predict in terms of our lineup and how the game's going to go because obviously with our lineup we don't know what we're going to do. We'll discuss that in a second in terms of our options, but you don't know what Arsenal's going to turn up. They've been such a mixed bag this year. They've been up and down. Even the last month, they went on a 3-game losing streak where they lost to Crystal Palace, Brighton, and somebody else. Teams they should be beating, and then they go and beat Chelsea, and they go and beat Man United. They're such an up and down team. You don't know what Arsenal are going to turn up, but we know they've got some very dangerous players.
Yeah, but that's kind of reminiscent of us as well this season, Jake. We should quite easily have won that game against Wolves at the London Stadium. It was the London Stadium, wasn't it? We should quite comfortably have won that. We'd just come off of a great European night, and we were really fired up. We didn't turn up, and we've got to turn up today. We've had a little bit of a disappointment with the result on Thursday, but it's only half time, so we go again on Thursday again. But, for this game today, I really feel that we have to get at them, and we need, like, Mikel Antonio to be on fire. We need Lanzini in the middle if you want me to predict, some of the players that I think we should have to play in today. We definitely need Declan Rice and Souček in the middle. They're the 4 players that I kind of identify as being, must starters today.
See, that's really interesting because a lot of people are saying we need to heavily rotate today and we need to rest all 4 of those players you've just mentioned ahead of Thursday.
Yeah, look, they've done reasonably well by being played twice a week, them guys, those 4 guys have really, really assisted in us being where we are in the Europa League. So you can't cancel that out. And match fitness speaks volumes when you're playing a game against a team like Arsenal that are very capable of wriggling out of corners, and basically, hurting us, So, we need the experience, we need the match fitness, we need, that team spirit that's been there evident all season, and we need it to be driving the team forward. And they're the 4 players that do that. They drive the team forward every single game.
Yeah. Let's take some of your comments and see who else. let's see who else we've got in the chat. P. Gad says Pickford with some huge saves just now. I think they're still leading Chelsea, which is massive for their survival hopes. Not very good news for the likes of Leeds and Burnley, though. Fremer says, come on, you Irons. Hope you are well, mate. Lawrence says we are due for a good match today. We certainly are. It is going to be one of the more interesting lineups of the season, because David Moyes could do exactly what Budgie's saying here. He could go, you know what, I want to start with these players, or he could do very similarly what he did against Chelsea this time last week and put out a rotated side. Let's wait and see what we'll do. Right, question for you, Budgie. Would you accept a loss today if we go and turn over Frankfurt on Thursday?
Would I accept a loss today if we go and turn over Frankfurt Thursday? I think that we're going to turn over Frankfurt anyway. I really do believe that. I mean, my mate who's in the background, he's agreeing with me. I think that we got to go balls out for both games, mate. I don't think we can afford to, forsake points or wins anywhere. We have to, if we're going to go out and qualify for Europe next year, we got to, basically try and win every game we enter. So, no, I wouldn't accept a loss today. It would be completely against my, better judgment to accept it.
Spuds are 2 up, we believe. I think they're playing Leicester. I think. Max says I would go full strength today. We need to win to get into the 6th spot. I hope we put out a strong squad in DC. Differing opinions. A lot of people saying this is our biggest game in 10 or so years on Thursday. Let's rest our key players. It's going to be really interesting. But in terms of Arsenal, Budgie, they've got, we know whoever they start in. Certainly in their attacking options, they've got some very good players there. Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, Smith Rowe. They've got some very good players which we need to nullify.
Yeah, indeed they have, and you can't rule out Lacazette either. I mean, I don't know if he's fit, is he? But
I think he is.
You can't rule him out either because he's got the ability to hurt you as well. So I'm not saying he's a great player by any stretch, but what he is he's a decent finisher at times. But as my pal just pointed out, with this match on Thursday, during their time of trying to qualify and get into the Champions League, and that Tottenham did it with a very small squad. And he was saying that their supporters and that were very frustrated that the squad wasn't being rotated enough. But Tottenham managed to get through to the final in that competition by having a small squad. So there's no reason why we can't replicate that or do a similar kind of outcome. We can definitely reach the final of this competition. And if we reach the final of it, there's no question of a doubt that we're capable of winning it. So, I wouldn't accept a loss in any game, if I'm honest with you, Jake. I mean, my mate's just said, as a neutral, he believes, and others also believe that West Ham will be in that final and win. So,
wow. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Let's see who else we've got on the chat. P. Gaz says, Leicester City have put all their bags in the European Conference League basket. They certainly have. Miss Hammerat, hope you are well. Hope you keep well. Nice to see you. Massive fitness. We are definitely in the Conference League, as Wolves won't take us now. Wolves aren't gonna catch us. Let's see how far away are we from Man United? Because I think if we're going to get any European football, I think it is going to be Conference League now, unless we win this competition, because there is 3 points. Well, I'll tell you what. If we win today, Budgie, we go level on points with a better goal difference than Manchester United.
Yeah, and then we'll be level on games with them, or will we will we have a game in the end?
No,
we'll be level on
games.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
I thought there was 1 point of it. It's not like.
Because actually, we are looking at this game and thinking Thursday night, this is massive. Let's rotate. But really, this is a massive opportunity today, because depending on what Arsenal turn up, because they are a very mixed bag. If they have an off day today, they are beatable. If we beat them, and we've got a much better goal difference than United, because obviously they've been piped by Liverpool a few times and Man City and what have you. we will be sixth and in pole position. Then I tell you what, it's by far long gone, and I can actually see why people want us to just put that strength out today, Budgie.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that as I said, the match fitness side of things really going to come into play. Because it's the sharpness of being on the ball, or working to get onto the ball, or whatever the case may be. It's the match sharpness as much as the match fitness. And some players can really shine in training. Look at Lukaku for Chelsea. I mean, he's banging goals in training for a fun. He can't buy one in the Premier League. So it kind of. I think the match fitness and the match sharpness and the mentality in the group, I think that's going to be key today. I really do, and I think that if he pulls out a strong side, a strong lineup today, then I believe that we'll go out there and we'll win the game. It may be a narrow margin, but I do believe that we'll win.
Love the positivity, because Pete Gaz says Brentford can beat Man United tomorrow. Brentford have been a banana skin for many, many sides this year. They've been a banana skin to Arsenal right at the start, to us twice, to Spurs.
Yeah.
Because then they play tomorrow, and then we'll have a game on them because they're because they would have played 36 and we would have played 35. Still would have played for. Yeah. Lawrence says we need to improve our attacking mentality today if we want to win. Attacking wise today, and in terms of a formation, because we're 1 minute away from getting the lineup, Budgie.
Yeah.
What would you do formation?
Against Arsenal, I would love to see him go with a 4-3-3, but he's not going to do that.
No.
I think that a 4-3-3 would be quite useful against Arsenal, but he's probably going to play the 4-2-1-3.
Yeah.
3-1. Sorry. Yeah. He's probably going to play that. But if not, maybe even a 4-2. 2-2.
Because we've got to look at it as well. Is that a back 3 or 5 is a big possibility today, because Dawson's out. We've got Zuma, who's our only real fit centre back. So whether it's Zuma and Johnson, whether he rests Zuma and goes rests Zuma and plays Johnson and Alese, whether he goes for a back 3 with like a Creswell, Johnson and Alese, whether he starts Zuma, so many options. And then attacking wise, would you change much?
No, not a thing. Not a thing. I wouldn't change anything.
Interesting stuff. Because I think there's
Jarrod Bowen has to start. He has to start. I think Fornals deserves to start. I believe that Lanzini deserves to start. And Mikel Antonio is literally a hair's width away from getting back on form. I mean, look how well he's done recently. And he got that little knock in the other night. So, that was given to him, wasn't it?
Here we go then. Right. We've got the lineup. Are you ready, Budgie?
I am ready. And anticipation's eating away.
And I confirm that there are changes today, 5 of them. It reads Fabianski in goal. I believe we're going to go for I believe we're going for a flat back 4 of hello. So Zuma, Soufal on the right, Zuma and Creswell as the 2 centre backs, and Fredericks maybe on the left, or Soufal and Fredericks. I'll get this up on screen for you. The 2 in the middle, Souček has finally been given a rest. It's Declan Rice and Mark Noble in the midfield. And then our front 4 reads left to right, Fornals, Lanzini, Ben Rama, and Jarrod Bowen leading the line. Changes, Budgie.
Is Jarrod Bowen leading the line, or is Ben Rama leading the line?
See, that's a good question. I would think that Bowen's leading the line, but I don't know. Yeah. Let's see what you guys think of this. And this is the lineup. I probably didn't explain it too well. It's just coming through. This is taking forever. Right, there it is. So I'm guessing, would you go Soufal or Fredericks, right or left? Because Creswell's going to play as a second centre back.
Yeah. Or is he going to play Fredericks as the centre back?
I can't do
Creswell
that,
out on the
surely.
left and Soufal on the right.
He can't do that because I think the only reason he's put Fredericks in, and there's no
Pace.
Johnson on the bench either. Johnson's not in the
Right.
squad today. He's put Fredericks in for pace today.
Yeah, that's
Because
what he's putting him on there for.
I
He's got
think he'll
Elise on the
start.
bench.
Because
He's
I
got
think he'll
Elise
probably start Fredericks on the right and Soufal on the left. I don't know. But then, what do
Yeah,
you
you
make?
may be right.
Obviously,
The way it's lined up, it looks like Bowen is leading the line, doesn't it? Because I mean, they haven't listed it in like number order, so
no.
numerical order. So yeah, it looks like Bowen is leading the line.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
Let's take some of your comments then. Get your thoughts in of this lineup, Massive Fitness, as I think we play lots of backup players and as we are West Ham, we will probably turn Arsenal over with our second string team. I'd put both the under-23 centre-backs in. One of them's on the bench today, LA say. But one thing we haven't mentioned yet is look who's on the bench. Issa Diop.
Diop.
Wow.
I read it and it didn't even register that he's supposed to be injured.
I'll tell you what,
a really good point, right?
These mind games from David Moyes are insane because he literally said 2 days ago that he'd be surprised if we saw him back before the end of the season.
He did. He said that in an open press conference. I saw that.
The mind games from Moyes are mad. Leslie
He's
Perkins.
Fantastic at it, isn't he?
I'll tell you what, he just sends everyone that way and he goes that way. Leslie Perkins not even involved today. Afternoon, Luton Nobes, yes, for his 129th and final London derby in a West Ham United shirt. But bonus striker, I think he will. Rice at centre back, that will not happen, Wally. It will be Creswell and Zuma as the centre backs, and then Soufal and Fredericks on the flanks. Rice and Noble in midfield, I think. Wally, your boys in the lineup, he certainly is. Ryan Fredericks. I'll tell you what, I've called for him, and Moyes has put him in today. I don't know whether it's forced or not, considering that there's no Johnson even on the bench. So maybe that's forced and not choice, but we'll have to wait and see. Max says Vlasic can't even get a game when players are rested. Luke says stronger than I thought it would be. Massive Fitness says looking at that team, I think he has got Creswell and Zuma in the middle, Fredericks on the left and Soufal on the right. Probably that. You could probably interchange Freddie and Soufal. We'll have to wait and see. Moyes wants the result starting Fredericks. Exactly.
And Wally will have a little stat come up in a minute. We haven't lost a game that Fredericks has started yet this season.
I think honestly, people laugh at me and Wally, but I think he's a very useful player to have because we've got no pace in our squad.
I rate him highly. It's like having Linford Christie with decent ball skills, isn't it? The guy is so quick. He is so quick.
Yeah, and I hope he steps up like he has done for pretty much most of the season today because he deserves it. He's been pretty hard done by. Obviously Johnson breaking through. Yeah. He's been pretty hard done by because he hasn't really put a foot wrong all season. I know No's last London derby. Anything you want to just add on that? Soucek's been given a rest, Budgie and Noble in his last London derby.
Well, I believe that Soucek getting a rest is probably. I mean, Duke and Gatesy were talking on Forged yesterday. And they said about this very scenario, and I believe it was Duke that said that resting Soucek because Rice had been rested against Chelsea.
Yeah.
And I believe that's just exactly what it is. David Moyes knows that all of these players deserve a rest, and he's just rotating them as much as he can, resting them. So the fact that he is starting with Bowen and Fornals, Bowen, Fornals, Ben Rama, and Lanzini up front. Yeah, the fact that he's starting with those four, we kind of, with the exception of Antonio, we kind of, got it right. Tottenham gone 3-0 up. Yeah. I know
There we
it's
go.
disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's sitting in the back there cheering, and I'm no.
A massive thing. As a
You know
Fraser
what's
says,
just
rubbish player but great athlete. See, I'm inclined to disagree because I think when he, knowing this now, commentators curse, he'll put a stinker today. But I think
Yeah,
he's done pretty well this season. But David Moyes has put full faith in him today because we're not playing no back five. He's not a midfielder. He's playing as a
yeah,
defender today. He's playing as a right or left back.
yeah, yeah. And fair play to him. I mean, he can still break forward if he needs to, can't he? There's no reason why he can't.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently, it's just torture from Tom.
I'm just gonna get up the Arsenal lineup then. They haven't even they haven't even announced it yet. What is this club? They have not even announced their lineup yet. But bosh. Anyway, we'll get that in a minute when Arsenal's admin's not sacked because they haven't announced the lineup. Jake's not very happy. Tell him. Is he good enough to play right midfield? Well, he better be good enough to play right back today, because that's exactly what he is doing. See, that's a good point. Why is Suchek on the bench? Not a rest if he's in the squad. That's a very valid point. We've got Krell there. He could have easily rested him today.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think what it is that David Moyes has got absolute faith in all of the players that he selects, okay? But should something happen in the middle, should there be a few gaps, with, need I say, Noble's pace and stuff, he's going to need to rectify that as soon as possible. And although Krell is, he's a backup, he's not a substitute for Suchek. So Suchek's, got to be available if needed. Really, I'll try not to use you if I don't need to. Have a rest as much as you can, but if I need you, be ready.
Yeah, let's have a look at this Arsenal lineup, and P. Gaz has put it in the chat as well. I've got it up here. It's Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Holding, Gabriel, Tavares, El Neni, Xhaka, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, and Nketiah. One thing to note there is that there's no Ben White in defence for Arsenal. Rob Holding comes in for them. Martinelli returns to the side. Tomiyasu comes back from injury. He's been out for quite a while in the right back position. Nketiah leads the line for them once again. Lacazette continues on the bench. Martinelli, very good player. They've got some very good players there, but their defence is gettable at, I think.
I think they are, yeah. And, no Ben White is a bonus for us, really, if I'm honest. Now you'll see the likes of, Benny being able to get him a bit. He likes to try and get him, doesn't he, Benny? So let's just hope that his final third or his final ball improves today. That's really all he lacks for me. The final ball. That and he needs to get into a few tackles as well.
But looking at that is that we've got players there that can hurt them. Tavares, he's quick but he can't defend. At left back. Tomiyasu, he's just come back from about 4 months out. He's not going to be up 100% fit because he hasn't played a Premier League match for about 4 months. Gabriel, he's a decent player, but Rob Holding has been put in. Ben White must be injured or something. So it's a jiggled around Arsenal defence which can be gettable at. The midfield battle is key, and I think we win it today. El Neni and Xhaka, they've been good in the last 2 games, but I think Declan Rice and Noble, I think that's a pretty fair battle in the middle of the park.
I think El Neni's a little too clumsy for us not to punish that midfield, because Declan Rice is like, what he's like. He's like a predator when he's not on the ball, and with Noble's sort of strength and that on the ball, I think we should win that midfield battle. And you'll have the likes of Lanzini dropping back as well, who's very technically very good in that kind of role. So I think we'll probably win that midfield battle, and if we do, we can get at them. We really can get at them.
Yeah, definitely. In terms of the bench, I think both benches are quite weak, and they're pretty even. I mean, they have got some good players on there, but so have we. Their benches: Leno, Cedric, Kirk, Swanson, Lokonga, Quad, Mahand, Smith Rowe, Pepe, and Lacazette. So really, they've got 3 players there. Smith Rowe, very good player.
Yeah,
I'm not
Smith
denying
Rowe,
that.
Pepe, and Lacazette.
Pepe,
Yeah,
Lacazette.
that's it.
Yeah, and we've got. I mean, let's not lie. We've got. Well, we've got Vlasic, Yarmolenko, and Antonio. Probably not up to the standard, but Pepe, he's out of favour with Arteta, and as is Lacazette. You know, Nketiah is getting in over him, and Smith Rowe is their only real danger man there.
And there's a rumour that I heard this morning that we've shown some interest in Pepe, and that the rumour is that they're ready to take bids of around 25 million for him. He cost them 72.
I know, 72 million. Yeah,
Is he a player you would go for, Jake, at 25 million?
25 million. Well, I'll tell you what though, I do call for it. He's a player with pace, and he's a good player. Depending on his age, let me have a look. How old is he? Born in 1995. He's
mid-20s, I think.
26. I'll tell you what, I'd have a punt at him at 20 million ideally at 26 years old. Possibly I would. Pete Guy says, I've heard Xhaka may have the armband. Red card implosion incoming. Yeah, I don't know about that, but Ben White's missing still with a tight hamstring. So it's a rejiggled starting lineup for the Arsenal, which is only positive for us. Most importantly, we have to have a positive mindset. They can't play with our thoughts already on Thursday. So Hennessy, hope you are well. I hope Xhaka don't give any of our players injuries. Indeed, we do not need any injuries whatsoever today. David Moyes has gone relatively strong. You know, he started a few more players than I thought he would. I definitely didn't think he'd start Zuma or a Rice or a Bowen, but he has. So interesting.
I'm glad he has
lineup.
as well.
How would you round them up? Go on.
Sorry.
How would you?
No, I was just saying, I'm glad he started.
Go on.
I'm just saying, I'm glad he started with, Rice and with Lanzini and Zuma. I think, he's showing the desire to win this game by playing those players.
He is.
Definitely.
Oh, he is for sure. There's no doubt about that. He's obviously seen the opportunity there today that we can move above Man United, and this is a very beatable Arsenal side. This is a valid comment, which I think I might agree with. The team feels imbalanced. Would you agree?
It isn't. Yeah, look, we've been used to a very regimented lineup for some months now. It's been changed only purely through injuries. The only player that really kind of fell out of favour at all was Benrahma, but that was short-lived. He's been featuring as a substitute and stuff as well. I mean, the stat is that he's the most substituted player in the Premiership. That's the stat, I think. But, he gets a start today, and let's just hope he takes it by the balls, if you like, Jake, and
I really hope he does.
Arsenal's very, very, very gettable.
Because with Benrahma, and I think I said it to you, either it was you or Kieran, or both of you after the game, was that after the game on Thursday is you saw an instant change from Benrahma. Something was different there on Thursday, because the first time he got the ball, he didn't look to go backwards. He didn't look to play the safe option. He got the ball and he ran at the defender, and he won the free kick. And nothing came from that free kick. But I said straight away, there's something different about him today, and he did perform. Let's hope that he can take that little bit of confidence into today's game. Yeah.
And I think maybe Mark Noble may have had something to do with that change around in Benrahma. Because he's very much the arm round his shoulder type of approach.
Yeah.
And that's what Benrahma needs. We've said that for months. And you actually said it to me some weeks ago, Jake. I think it was actually a comment I made, and you responded to. But he needs that arm round the shoulder approach, Benrahma, and I think that's Noble's doing. Because Moyes is not that kind of man with him for some reason. It just doesn't seem to gel with Moyes as much.
Yeah.
You know, but I do feel that if Ben Rama gets at him today, and you know, I think he stands a good chance of putting in a decent performance, maybe even getting himself a goal today.
100%.
I'd like to see that.
100%, because he's a confidence player. He's got that bit of confidence from Thursday. Hopefully he can take it into today's game. Another thing before we dive into the comments is that we expect Bowen to be starting up front through the middle today. What are you expecting from Bowen today, and how do you think we will adapt our game to play with a player like Bowen up front?
Well, you know, it's how is he playing? You know, Fornals and Ben Rama. Which side will each occupy? That's the question. Or will they switch about? You know,
Probably
to try and confuse the Arsenal back four or back lineup. You know, but as a number 9, if you want to call him that, Bowen. Look, we know his capabilities, Jake. You know, and he'll do a similar job to what Mikel Antonio does. He won't be regimented in the middle. You know he won't. He'll drift out and he'll retrieve the ball and try and attack the back line and stuff, you know. And providing he gets the service from the 3 guys behind him, I feel we can really get a decent result out of this. I think it's probably going to be a narrow win, like a 2-1 or a 3-2 maybe even. But it'll only be a 1-goal win, I'm sure of.
I think so. Yeah.
It may even only be 1-0.
One of the slight issues I've got with the attacking is that last time we started these 3 players, I'm going to name them in a minute, it didn't really work. We've got 3 very similar players starting in our 4 today: Fornals, Lanzini, and Ben Rama. They are very similar.
They are. And which is why having Bowen in front of them will hopefully, you know, stir the mix a little bit. You know, it'll kind of, you know, like Ben Rama likes to sort of, you know, he likes to get at you, but he also doesn't mind hanging about in the middle waiting for the ball to come to him. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Bowen don't like to do that. And if he plays Ben Rama out on the right, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see them 2 switching positions throughout the game.
100%.
I think with Lanzini directly behind him, feeding the ball through to him, with Rice driving forward, Noble shoring up the back line and pinging the ball forward and picking out his intricate little passes that he can do. I feel, Jake, I'm pretty confident. I am pretty confident, mate. You know, I don't want to sort of sound too overconfident and start predicting a 3-0 win and stuff like that. But, you know, a victory by 1 goal, I can see very achievable.
Oh, but hopefully, fingers crossed. Wally, fantastic sight from Wally. He says, if we beat Arsenal today, then we will have beaten all of the big 6 this season. Yeah, I was just counting it through there. Beat City in the Cup, beat United in the Cup. We beat Spurs in the league. We've beat Chelsea in the league, Liverpool in the league. Yeah. Great stat, Wally. Yeah. Great stat.
Pete Gads. Say hello to Wally and thank you for your support the other day, Wally. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Yeah, go on. Sorry, mate.
That's all right. Pete Gads says, I heard a rumour that Pulisic is unhappy with his lack of game time. West Ham is sniffing around. Yeah, well, he flipping scored the goal against us in the last minute last week, didn't he? So, yeah.
Yeah, but he's a player I wouldn't mind having at West Ham, do you know?
Yeah, he's a good player.
I've never said that really about too many Americans, you know, because let's be fair, you know, generally they don't tend to be Premiership quality like you would expect from maybe, you know, Spanish, Italian, Brazilian type players. But he really can cut the mustard in the Premiership. I'd like him at West Ham.
Great player. So,
excuse me.
Sir Hennessy says, I'm going for a 3-2 win, as we always win against clubs with good players with that result. Well, we do. Can we make it a hat-trick of 3-2s this year against the Big 6? Lawrence says 2-1 to West Ham. To be fair, I haven't even asked for predictions yet, but you lot carry on. One thing we haven't discussed is the referee today, Michael Dean. Do you think that plays a part,
yes.
Budgie?
It kind of does because, you know, he's kind of card happy and he tries to give you the impression that he's letting the game flow, but he does tend to be a little bit biased on his decision making. Generally, if it suits him, you know, I'm not saying that he's biased towards other teams. I'm just saying if it suits him, he'll, you know, I mean, that's quite an you know, jaded view of it. I don't rate him as a referee very much, but isn't he the one that's retiring at the end of the season?
He is. Yeah.
Good luck to him. You know,
just to round up the Premier League games, we're entering the last minute of play at Goodison Park, and it's still Everton 1, Chelsea 0, and Spurs have beaten Leicester 3-1. What a massive result this will be for Everton, and a massive game and result for both Burnley and Leeds in this relegation dogfight, and almost away for Arsenal as well, which might give them a bit of incentive, because let's not forget that there's only 6 points in it between Chelsea and Arsenal. And that'll give them an even bigger incentive today, but hopefully. But to be fair, I prefer Everton to go down. But it's quite funny to see Chelsea lose after last week. But that's just that. Let's take some more comments.
Especially with Frank Lampard at the helm.
Yeah.
They sacked him.
Yeah, exactly. And the celebration, he was punching the air when Richarlison scored, and the commentator said, "I don't think Frank Lampard has ever celebrated a goal against Chelsea quite like that." Fremmer says 2-2, Zuma and Noble 1-1, Benrahma to get the goal. Very valid comment, Wally. This is the first match without Dawson starting in forever. Wouldn't have thought that when we first signed him, probably since near on the start of the season, because he started Europa League and other games, doesn't he? Probably since Ogbonna got injured. This is his first game missing, isn't it, Budgie?
Yeah, Charles, I believe it is. Yeah. I mean, when was the last time we had two central defenders when we didn't use him?
Can't remember it. Luke is going for a 4-4 shambles of a game. I'll tell you what, you want to get a bet on that, and if that comes in, you're having a good night, Luke. You're having a good night, and you're having a good bank holiday Monday tomorrow if that comes in. Anna says they are a very good pressing team. Most times Antonio is the out ball to beat that. Bowen has a big job today. He has got a momentous job on his hands.
Yeah.
Wally says, agree, Luke. I hate to say it, but our defence looks very makeshift. Fremmer says, the thing is, we almost always create enough chances, just have to take them. That's it. Hang on. We have to take our chances. And in a game like this, and in a game like Thursday, midfield is key. Yeah, we spoke about it earlier, Robert. It is. And one other part of the play that's key is the flanks as well, Budgie. You know, if we can nullify the Saka and the Martinelli, and we can get down those flanks.
And that's, you know, that's one of the jobs that Mark Noble's going to have to do. Sorry, go on, carry on, mate. Carry on. That's one of the jobs that Mark Noble's going to have to do. He's going to have to nullify one of them guys. You know, he's got to be on him, you know. Yeah. And I think Declan Rice is going to have to take the other one, or he's, you know, and they'll both get assistance from Lanzini because he kind of got a good work rate with that kind of job on his hands. So, but they have to do it, and they have to maintain it, you know, throughout the entire 90 minutes. You can't turn your back on players like Saka. 100%, that boy can sting you, mate, like a bee.
Yeah, and that's it, and that's exactly what he did to Masuaku back in December. Completely fried him like a kipper for 90 minutes back in December, and we do not want to see anything like that today. Connor says, hi, just joined. Have you seen the lineup? We certainly have. Interesting, Connor. What do you make of it, mate? Robert says, Everton fans were outside the Chelsea hotel last night setting off fireworks and car alarms in the early hours of the morning. Make it out of what you want, but P-Gas says, my girlfriend is worried about this one. She says Arsenal are better with young Dracula than with old Dracula. Not quite sure what to make of that, P-Gads, but fair enough. Let's move on to some predictions then. Budgie, what are you going for, mate? I think you've hinted at it, but let's have your predictions, goal scorers, and how you think the game's going to go.
Right. Okay. Well, so my pal in the background there, he's saying 1-0 to West Ham. I think there's going to be more goals than that in the game. I'm going to go with 2-1 to West Ham.
Who's going to score?
I think Bowen will get both.
Oh, Bowen's on fire. God, I'd love to see
He
it.
is.
We would love to see
Cuddles
it.
Danny Dyer.
Indeed. This is really difficult to predict because we put up a good lineup tonight, but it's still a possibility that Arsenal could turn up their best and could beat us today. It's really difficult to predict this. I think I said 2-2 last night in the preview, and I don't usually change my prediction, but I think I'm going to today because of the circumstances, what we've done, what Arsenal have done. I'm going to back us today, and I'm going to agree with your mate. West Ham 1, Arsenal 0. Jared Bowen to get the goal.
There, that's put a smile on his face nicely. Yeah. Yeah. He's saying that with the lineup that we have, we're more inclined to hold them off and nick a goal. And just like, on the break, nick our goal and that'll be it. We'll probably only have about 35% possession today. But I think he could be right. But like I said, I think there's going to be a few more goals in it. So I'm sticking with me 2-1.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bowen to get both.
Yeah, Larry's agreeing with you.
Because
2-1, both goals, Bowen. Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. What we're going to do, and we're going to play like we usually do, Budgie, is that we're going to try and catch them on the break with Fredericks with a bit of pace and with Bowen bursting down the middle.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, the way that Noble can ping a ball about, that's going to be key as well. You got to remember, just recently, most of the top quality, top draw, long cross-field passes have been supplied by Craig Dawson.
They have.
And he ain't playing today. So Noble's got to kind of take that role up of getting the ball from the defence up to the front line. Yeah. And he's going to be key in that role today, I believe.
Because that's such a valid point, and people don't pick up on that much. People don't pick up on that enough, that Dawson's immense defensively, but those cross-field 60, 70-yard balls, sometimes they're just straight onto the foot. And we're going to miss that massively today. And because, what Wally said earlier on, we haven't seen Craig Dawson not start for West Ham for what feels like forever. It's going to be very different today in terms of defensive and, getting us started. And no injuries is the key today as well. No injuries, please. We suspect Johnson's picked up an injury because he's not in the match day squad today. So, to touch on Mark Noble one last
could
part.
Quite easily just be a stomach upset or something, though, Jake.
Yeah, it could be.
Let's hope it's not something that's debilitating.
With Mark Noble, he's probably not going to last 90 minutes. So do you think we will see Souček at some point?
There's a good chance of that, mate. Yeah, I would say. Probably about 65, 70 minutes. Yeah. It's called West Ham Unofficial. Yeah, Dave's going to put it on the screen so you can see what's going on. Yeah, so... I think it's possible that we'll see Souček. It's unlikely that we'll see Kroll. We may see, like say for example, Noble coming off, Antonio coming on, Bowen dropping back into his normal position.
Yeah.
Lanzini dropping back next to Rice, Ben Rama in the centre.
So many options.
Yeah, there are. There's 150, permutations to who he puts on and who could go where. I ain't going to go through hardly any of them. I'm not going to go through none of them. But I mean, the fact that Antonio's on the bench and Souček's on the bench, that would indicate to me that Noble's good for about 60, 65 minutes.
I think so.
Maybe 70.
I think so. Wally says we could see a back three and Fredericks and Fornals at the wing back. So we've got if we're going for that, then we could see a back three. So if we take Fredericks and Fornals out there, and then we put Soufal, Zuma, and
Creswell
as the
that could
back
work.
three.
That actually could work
because then we'd have a front three of Lanzini, Benrahma and Bowen, but that would mean
Bowen.
Lanzini'd have to go out to a wing though.
Yeah, no, that's not a problem, is it really? If you know, if you're playing Bowen on the right, in the centre and Benny on the right, Lanzini out on the left. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Luke did call it last week. He wants a Crowell hat trick today. That's what he's going for. He said it Thursday night. He wants a Crowell hat trick. We have got to respect the point today. We have respect the point.
I have
Indeed.
to say, Luke, you really should start taking your medication, mate.
Right then, final question, Budgie. Fast forward 20 minutes. You've got the players in the dressing room 10 minutes before kickoff. You are Mark Noble. You are starting today. What are you saying to your teammates before you go out on that pitch?
First thing you got to say to them is you've got to go out there and give everything for that badge. You've got to make sure that them guys in them seats up there don't feel like they've wasted their money coming here today. And you have got to get out there. You've got to get at this team. They're very, very gettable. You know, we can take this, but you guys have got to work at it. And you know, I'll orchestrate everything I can from where I am, but you boys have got to back me up. And you know, let's get out there and do it. That's what I'd be saying.
Let's get out there and do them. You know, it's clear that David Moyes has got half an eye, a firm 1.5 eyes on this game, because he has started some big players that we didn't expect to start today. So you know, do you think this starting 11 today? Do you think that limits our chance of winning on Thursday, or do you think it's still the same?
Mate, I think that we can get a win today with that lineup. I do believe we can get a win with that. Mainly for me, my eye is firmly planted on Thursday. I have to be honest with you. Like I said, I wouldn't accept a loss today, but I'm really wanting the win on Thursday because, you know, I would love the attention that's going to come from being in that final.
Yeah.
You know, the media attention, the world's eyes are going to be on that final. I know it's a Europa League final, but the world watches, you know. And, you know, if we want to be a global brand, you know, we have to play a global game, you know, and we have to play that game like we want to win it. You know?
Finally, we'll ask this question after the game on the post-match review. But before the game, before a ball's kicked, do you believe David Moyes has got it right today?
The only thing that I may criticise him for with that lineup later is Mark Noble starting. But I'm hoping not, because Mark Noble is a legend. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the guy, you know, and you know, 18 years of service to this club, that cannot be sniffed at, you know. But I do believe that if there is a weak link in our chain today, it's him, in my opinion. You know?
Yeah, I think so. Mr. Barter says, "Oh, I hope you are well." Robert says, "No White or Gabriel. We got a chance. Gabriel is starting. Robert, it's Holding and Gabriel as the centre back partnership, but it is weakened for the Arsenal. Indeed, comment in the day from Luke. Mark Noble, don't make too much mess, lads, as I've got to sweep it up. Yeah." Gotta see, Noble has got to sweep it up, that's for sure. Let's move on. Luke says no injuries and give Antonio a rest. Thursday isn't going to be easy either way, and go and smash the arse. No, indeed. Anyway, Budgie, any final thoughts before we leave these people in peace? 25 minutes before kickoff.
Enjoy the game, guys and girls. You know, those of them that have gone to the stadium, stay safe and enjoy the game. They're all just meeting up to go into the stadium a few minutes ago. It's coming up on my group chat. So enjoy the game, everybody. Listen, we can get at them. We need to get at them. We can get ourselves a win today, but we really need the support from the people in the stadium. Indeed. You know, that's key. The 12th man is key.
We will be back right here on West Ham Unofficial a couple of seconds after the final whistle to give you our raw and live reactions to this game. But until then, grab yourself a pint if you want, because you're not working tomorrow, so happy days. Grab yourself a pint, a packet of crisps, whatever you want. Get yourself ready. See you on the full-time whistle. Budgie, thank you very much for coming on.
You're welcome, Jake. It's always a pleasure to see you, son.
Thank you very much. Thanks everybody watching in the chat. Like, subscribe, channel sponsors I'm Carver and Son. Click the link in the description down below to find them. You can find Budgie on Green Street Elites on YouTube. Find me here on West Ham Unofficial. Like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you later on for a post-match review. Until then, bye.